Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. So, with Tesla laying the groundwork for full autonomy, Robotaxis in operation, Cybercab is about to enter production, Optimus striding forward, and more affordable models now available in most markets, will 2026 finally be the year that Tesla fans get to say, "I told you so," or enjoy a little vindication, perhaps? We're deep diving into the sort of massive foundations that Tesla have built during 2025 in the little video I'm going to share with you in a second. But joining me today are two legends from the Tesla Owners Club UK. We've got David Morse, you're the club's event coordinator, and Warren Whyte, the president, no less, of Tesla Owners Club UK. Absolute pleasure to have you, sir. Thank you very much. And as if by magic, we've got Graeme Cobb as well, who's joined in last minute to help us out as well. So thank you so much, Graeme, for being here. Let's just first touch on the FSD rollout version 14, with Tesla accumulating over 7 billion miles of FSD data. When's the right time to say that Tesla have solved autonomy? Go on, Warren. I'll get that one straight to you.
It just looks incredible. I was very lucky to experience version 12 in China last month. And even though that's only 2 generations behind, it was extraordinarily impressive. So I can only imagine with what the Americans are experiencing in version 14 and the Australians, that it is pretty much ready. I think what will give everyone confidence is when the robotaxis have no supervisors in them. And then we really know it's well and truly here.
Yeah, well, they've just started rolling those around. We've seen a lot of cybercabs in Austin at the moment, some with steering wheels, some without. That's another subject. But I thought it'd be nice to share, as he mentioned, what's going on in America right now. There's this chap called David Morse, very similar to Morse, but not quite. He says, "I am proud to announce that I have successfully completed the world's first USA coast-to-coast fully autonomous drive. I left the Tesla diner in LA 2 days ago, 2 days and 20 hours ago, and now have ended in Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, 2,734 miles, 32 miles away. This was accomplished with Tesla's FSD version 14.2 with absolutely no disengagements of any kind, even for parking, including at Tesla Supercharger." I mean, that is phenomenal, isn't it? What do you think of that?
Absolutely extraordinary.
I remember traveling from Leeds to Monaco and doing a tour of France, and it was 2,700 miles. And that took me a week. So to do that non-stop,
yeah,
it's quite impressive. Yeah, and just fully autonomously. I mean, it's here, isn't it? You asked a question to Warren. When can we say it's here? It's here. I don't think anybody can doubt it. It's just pending regulatory approval now, isn't it? We've just got to wait for our respective authorities and governments to sort themselves out so that we can all have a go.
We're looking last in line, I think, to receive FSD. Where I landed in is the hope that by the time we actually get it, it's going to be just absolutely perfect, isn't it? Because we'll be getting version 14.3, perhaps 0.4. By which time we won't have to go through the rigmarole of testing version 11 and all that. I mean, people have been through hell and back testing these systems. Quite frankly, sometimes they've not been great, but now it's looking like it's pretty much solved to me.
I mean, certainly for the UK market, I mean, we're the third biggest Tesla market now, and there's over 250,000 Teslas out on the roads, generating data on a daily basis. So as and when the regulatory approvals happen, FSD in the UK should be absolutely superb, because the data that it's built on will be excellent. It'll be one of the best data sets in the world.
Let's move on to the next little bit of this video. Optimus did cool stuff, including running, dancing and kung fu. Most fun, I thought, was just seeing the Tesla staff and the security at Westfield Shopping Centre be totally overwhelmed with the amount of people who came in. They were queuing right around the flipping shopping centre, weren't they, Warren?
That was extraordinary. As David said, it was very last minute, but I managed to persuade my wife that we'd had a very long day at Silverstone the day before during the Christmas light show, and then realised, actually Westfield on Saturday, Optimus is there, and how could you not go home via seeing Optimus? So I got there around lunchtime, and it was a good hour queue, and apparently it was even longer first thing in the morning. But yeah, the excitement and intrigue about it was palpable. It was amazing.
And that was operating completely autonomously, right? It wasn't somebody controlling it.
No, this was teleoperated. So there was someone behind the screen there that would have been in a haptic suit and a VR headset, and listening to people as well. Because I managed to play rock paper scissors with him, so there's someone listening there. But it's to it's not really just to show the fully autonomous capabilities. This is a sort of prototype version of Optimus. So he's a bit older now, isn't he? There's a new version with different hands, and I think he's the same sort of color as the Cybercab, and that's going to be far smarter and AI, running AI rather than someone in a haptic feedback suit. But this is what the magic was of this. Is I went down there with Dave Dewson, and he's an engineer. And just looking at Optimus being able to balance, every time he's moving his hand out, had to move out his bottom or something just to sort the weight distributions out. So from an engineering point of view, just his flexibility and capabilities was mind blowing. But we know that this is already an old version. There's a new version that's been worked on already that's far better. And I didn't have the video lined up, but you can see at the shareholders event, there was 2 Optimus robots dancing on stage, and they were far more flexible and fast moving than this Optimus. So it's wonderful to watch the progress. I mean, it's the first time I'd seen an Optimus actually moving. I've seen one, static with a pole up its backside, but this one was far more exciting.
certainly seeing the dexterity of it was quite extraordinary. It really was quite remarkable how it could pick things up from the table or pick things up directly from your hand. It really was able to deal with numerous movement types that you really wouldn't expect to see in such detailed ways. It was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Go for it, David.
Yeah, the rate of pace, though, of innovation here is so rapid as well, isn't it? From when Optimus was first announced, with the person in the dancing suit and the almost, rigid robot that came out, the pace has been absolutely incredible how this has developed. And as you said, this is still the prototype, it's not production one.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything yet. I mean, by the time you get the FSD software into the brain of Optimus, and those two things come together, you've got the dexterity of one of the world's most advanced robots paired with the AI systems that will be running it. That's going to be the sort of magic sprinkling of Optimus coming alive, and being able to communicate with it in the way that you can communicate with Grok. It's going to be great just to watch this this come about. I'm very excited by it. So
I'm not quite sure the world's ready. Will
no, possibly not.
I think that there's we're in this relatively small community of Tesla fans, both the cars and the company. And I'm sure that at least 95, if not 99% of the population of the world has got absolutely no idea just how incredible this is already. And what's to come is just incomprehensible. And it will completely change the world, I'm sure. And it'll be a slow, we'll be able to watch it unfold slowly with every 1,000 and every 100,000 robots that are produced. And it'll take years and years to come to us, but it will be, we'll have a glimpse of what the future will be probably before most people. And it's really exciting.
It is, yeah. That's what's so much fun about watching it, isn't it? And we'll watch the same sort of rollout, no doubt, as watching the Robotaxis and the Cybercabs coming out in America. We'll be seeing Optimus first of all working in factories, and then eventually it'll be, I think, the product of a lifetime. Because what on earth could be more useful than a humanoid robot? That's built for a world created by humans that can theoretically carry out any task a human can do. It's quite mind-bending when you go on that sort of thoughtful journey of what couldn't it do if it's got the brain more powerful than humans, which it will have from AI, and a body to at least be similar to humans, have the same capabilities in its lifting and capabilities like that. It's going to be bizarre, isn't it? And we're just at the tip of seeing this all come to fruition.
Indeed, I reckon 2026 will be the year of Optimus, because there's been so much progress with the Chinese robots over the last few months. I saw a few of them in action in Guangzhou Motor Show last month, and some of them have got some interesting developments. The ones you see on videos, they will not show live in any way at all. So I think the competition is going to keep Tesla's feet to the fire, and Optimus is going to be, the next version is going to be extraordinary, without a doubt.
Let's get rid of that one. Put this one back on. I'm going to be really quick with my pausing. Of course, the opening of the Tesla diner in Hollywood also happened this year. Sorry, last year. We're already in next year already, aren't we? So, Tesla entering the food industry with one of the coolest looking diners you ever did see, and they've produced 80,000 burgers so far. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm quite a fan of of any good food. And I know burgers don't usually go into that category of sort of good food, but dude, look at that. It's a smash burger. It looks flipping gorgeous, doesn't it? That's a heart attack on a plate, but occasionally you just need a burger, don't you? And how much would you guys like to see the Tesla diner coming to you?
I had an interesting debate about this last week. When I was going back from Guangzhou, I persuaded the wife that we had to come back via Los Angeles and have a chance to enjoy Tesla Diner. And it really was quite the experience. It's a fabulous bit of architecture,
magic.
A great supercharger, and yeah, it has good burgers. And it felt expensive, but when you compare it to the price of Five Guys or a decent burger, it really is good value as well. I don't think we're going to see an awful lot of these around the world, but I suspect it's more of a demonstration to show what its partners should be doing at supercharger sites. But yeah, if a few more of them couldn't come to Europe and Asia, it'd be fantastic. But yeah, I wouldn't put money in too many of them being rolled out. Yeah.
Oh, shame. Well, it was described as Elon, wasn't it, as a shining beacon of hope in an otherwise bleak landscape. My memory just worked a treat then. It doesn't usually do that. But, is that, what were the surroundings like where the diner is? I mean, is it really a bit of a bleak landscape around there? Is it, or did it seem...
It's not the best bit of suburban LA. But yeah, I mean, the architecture really does shine. It's going for the whole retro diner look and the sort of the space age feel. And then you kind of forget there's a massive supercharger wrapping its way around it as well. I mean, dozens of massive screens, so you can watch the movie either from the rooftop terrace or from your car with the sound syncing with your car. There's some really clever touches that hopefully will find their way into different versions.
Yeah, I'm just going back to this picture here.
Oh, there it is.
Because it's not just these superchargers at the front that you see, is it? There's a section sort of around the corner with loads of superchargers, isn't there?
They obviously couldn't buy the whole block, so there's a set kind of diagonally attached is another huge supercharger lot with solar shades as well, which is nice. Massive. If the robots do most of the work humans do today, then who will be able to pay the universal basic income? Are our governments prepared for this at all? We're going back to this comment down here, aren't we? This does appear to me the most logical way to do this, doesn't it? If you're going to, if a lot of people are going to be put out of work and displaced from robot armies taking over lots of mundane, boring jobs, then there does need to be things in place. I would have assumed that taxing the robots would be the best way to at least provide universal basic income, universal high income. As it rolls out, it's going to be complicated. It's going to be messy. We're going to need governments to be actually competent in what they're doing, which, is going to be a difficult task for most countries. But yeah, I do think that's the way.
This is a question for Warren. Surely you're closer to government than any of us, aren't you, Warren?
I don't think government or elected officials have really even thought about it. I mean, the debates I've been in over the years about autonomous driving. They can't even quite comprehend that. But the idea of autonomous robots doing daily jobs, it's going to open up a whole can of worms, without a doubt.
They tend to look in the rearview mirror for these things, don't they? I mean, electric cars and AI and I'm sure robotics in the future, even alternative currencies, but, they just don't have a plan for the future. It takes so long to get things, the bureaucracy is so stultifying, isn't it? It's really difficult to get things done proactively.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see the way the government is around Europe are starting to actually worry about EVs now. And sorry about that. And governments can't quite cope with the transition to sustainable transport still. Never mind the autonomous side of the stuff.
Just so slow to progress, aren't they? And the regulation is so stifling. The people in control don't know what they're talking about. This is just happening the world over in governments. Do you remember just watching Facebook bloke? What's his name?
Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg, when he was in Congress. Was he in Congress? I can't remember. Talking to loads of representatives of the government in America. They had no idea what he was talking about, and they were there to sort of try and regulate him or get an explanation as to him about the internal workings of Facebook and everything. It was clear that those people that were in control of the American government at the time weren't keeping up with technology whatsoever. And we've got that same thing just playing out around the world with other governments. The people are just so far behind what they need to be doing. We can all see this coming, and I don't think they can, which is a bit of a worry. Let's get back to, where were we? The Model Y being the best-selling vehicle globally is the news, as reported from Tesla just here. There is a little discrepancy over this news, isn't there? Because in the past 3 years, the Model Y has been up against the first or second best-selling car in the world, which is the Toyota RAV4, amazingly. Now, the internal numbers, we're not entirely sure how Tesla are adding them up at the moment. They tend to put the 3 and the Y together, don't they? Tesla's direct delivery model counts actual customer handovers, which closely matches real sales, unlike some other legacy automakers, wholesale shipments that may include unsold dealer inventory. So it's tying basically between the RAV4 and the Toyota, and the Tesla Model Y for the top spot of the world's best-selling car. I mean, it's very close, and Tesla, might have some internal information that shows they've had a great, quarter of Model Y sales, particularly because they have just come out with the more affordable Model Y in America. So perhaps it will pip Toyota to the post. What does everyone think about this?
Yeah, I think sales to the dealerships probably don't count as sales to the end consumer. I mean, playing some internal financial tricks is if that's what the Model Y is up against, to try and lose the top spot by a small number of 1,000 cars, then I don't think that they can worry too much. It's clear that the Model Y has been the best-selling vehicle globally for the last 3 years, at least on average. If not, it might have been pipped out in overall in 1 year. But as I say, because they're selling to dealers, I think they're fudging the numbers a little bit.
It's always an issue with a lot of the manufacturers having franchise dealers. They are pushing the manufacturer sells the vehicle to the dealerships, then the dealerships are in fact having to resell them. Whereas, of course, Tesla has a pretty unique direct-to-consumer in all markets. It is quite unusual. But even if the Model Y isn't the best selling, it's number 2. If you think about what a year it's been for Tesla, stopping production, launching the Juniper as a facelifted model, some of the political shenanigans around the world, the fact that it is in the top 1 or 2 position is just extraordinary for a car of that size and price to be so popular. It's amazing. And I think Toyota might be playing with, because they've got several types that share the RAV4 name, but are slightly different vehicles, where Tesla only has one Model Y wherever you are in the world.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that. Yeah. I was quite surprised to see that the RAV4 recommended retail price in the UK is £45,395. Not sure how much it actually sells for from dealers, but that seems way more expensive actually than I thought. I was expecting it to be a lot cheaper than that. Whereas the Model Y now starts at 42 or 44?
That's the thing when we were comparing it against the Wuling Mini. Do you remember a couple of years ago when that was the the best-selling car in China? It's like the
toy
size
car,
of Postman Pat's van, and it was something like £8,000. I mean, I was expecting the RAV4 to be. It was always the comparison was made. Yes, but the Model Y is a way more expensive car, so it's much more impressive. But actually now the value is so good, the price of the car has come down so much, and the price of other cars has either stayed the same or increased. So it's in one way it's less impressive that people are spending so much more, but in another way it's just incredible the value difference. I mean, who would, if you got £45,000 in your pocket, are you going to buy a RAV4 over a Model Y? It's baffling to me how people are making that decision.
This has always been my surprise. I think I posted something on X earlier just about this. People have always made really poor choices when they're buying cars. They'll spend exorbitant amount of money on a bad car, like objectively poor compared to the competitors. That's my constant surprise. But, in fairness, I haven't tried a RAV4. Not since I was in Dubai. I hired a RAV4 for a few months while we worked there. An off-roader. That was quite fun, but a long time ago. So I guess I should probably try the competition and see what the big deal is. I understand that they've they've cancelled the self-charging hybrids don't exist anymore, and they're all plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. In fact, Norway even banned the adverts, didn't they, for the self-charging hybrid that Toyota tried to push, because of the advertisement was pretty extraordinary, wasn't it? Misleading.
Indeed.
Yeah, is the word. Yeah.
Though
Have you
sadly,
guys
I think
even
in some
tried
markets, Honda now trying to use the same phrase for some of their petrol-driven hybrids, sadly.
Yeah. Seems extraordinary just to consider Honda. You know, when I was growing up, I used to look at Asimo thinking, wow, we're going to have robots in the future. And Asimo is wheeled out nowadays. This is still the amazing robot. It's like, what? Where have Honda been for all these years? You know, why haven't they progressed like Tesla had? The opportunity was there for so many of these car companies to take the electric movement and run with it. Certainly Toyota, you know, they could have been building amazing electric cars by now. And all we have is
Toyota got seduced by the whole hydrogen thing and wasted billions of dollars developing a car that was hopeless to drive and you couldn't refuel.
Yeah. How can they make such poor decisions at a top level? It's insane. And the best they could come up with was the BuzzForks, the BZ4X electric car, which again, I haven't driven, in fairness. I mean, maybe it's amazing, but sales don't seem to suggest so.
No.
No.
Do you remember the old Honda adverts from it was about 20 years ago or something, maybe longer, and they revolutionized the diesel engine, and the whole purpose of the advert was, remember when old diesel engines used to spit and fart and burp and pop, and we've made this new fantastic, amazing, efficient diesel clean engine. And of course, fast forward, now we realise that they were just cheating on the emissions, and it's all a big scam. I've got that adverts. We know some adverts are really memorable, aren't you? I was like, oh wow, it's really Honda, aren't they? Really, progressive and engineering, innovative.
We're amazingly well fooled as a species, over and over and over again, aren't we? That seems to be the problem.
The thing that I posted about recently with Honda, with their hybrids, is they're now calling them EHEVs, so hybrid electric vehicles. They're really pummeling home on the electric part, but not about the internal combustion engine.
That's like me calling myself Tesla Jigsaw Tesla.
Yeah.
Why would they do? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
No, for those of us who grew up with Honda in the 80s and 90s, where they're the epitome of good engineering, good design, efficiency, and I don't know what they've lost their way. Apart from a few very good hatchbacks, the Honda E was a very expensive folly that did not sell at all, and sadly, Honda have had their fingers burnt, and they really do seem to struggle with the whole movement to electric.
It's such a shame with the Honda E, because it was such a beautiful looking car from the outside, a perfect little small car for the UK. Could have been brilliant. Just needed to get the range sorted and the price down. No.
Yeah, and a few years later, Renault have done it with the Renault 5.
Yeah, can be done. Yeah.
I know China's gone and copied the Honda E, haven't they, with...
the Firefly.
Yeah, the Firefly, that's it. Yeah, that's like the Honda E Mark II, but better.
I think it will be better, yes.
Yeah. Let's take a quick diversion before we get back to the video here about upcoming Tesla UK events. Have you got anything on the cards to share with us, Warren or David?
Well, David's been busy over the last month or so he might not have the full latest details. So I'm happy to share.
Thank you,
that
this is why it's always far more prepared than the rest of us.
So we've had a really busy 2025. So we're taking January off. So thank you very much for the invite today, Will, to take part in this. But we'll be starting our event season on Saturday, the 28th of February. Because it's still winter, we're going to have an indoor event up at British Motor Museum at Gaydon. And those who've been Tesla owners for a long time may recall the pre-COVID events at Gaydon, where it was a day of learning more about Tesla life, how to get more out of your car, how to enjoy road trips, how to do basic servicing, talk about tires, all the stuff that you could ask on Facebook, but actually you can talk to real people and get real advice. So that's on the 28th of February, and tickets go on sale in the next couple of days. We're planning a great Supercharge for June. We've had a lovely national event for Tesla owners in Bicester Motion for the last few years, which has been really well attended. But we have a really exciting location plan for 2026, and I'm really excited to be able to share that hopefully in the next week or so. But it will be.
Oh, I thought you were going to say right now.
Sadly, we're subject to commercials, but we
Okay.
have a fantastic location, not a million miles away from Bicester. So if it's it's easily accessible from the north and the south of the country. And the date we are aiming for is the 20th of June. So if you enjoy Tesla stuff and also enjoy driving your Tesla, I would recommend keeping the 20th of June very much clear, because it's going to be a fantastic day. And some of my colleagues around Europe, I've been able to sneak preview some of the things we're thinking about, and I suspect we'll have a few of our European colleagues come to visit as well.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, good. By that explanation, I'm thinking it might be closer to the Midlands as well, which would be quite nice. Is it? No. Oh, damn it. Well, never mind. I'm really fingers crossed for camping this year. I'll put a bit of pressure on you for sorting that, because I think that was great when we used to do it. But I know it's expensive to hire venues overnight.
Yeah, the club got burnt a bit by that experiment.
Yeah.
So it's still on our radar, but making it happen at an affordable cost is always a challenge.
We'll sort something out. I'm sure we'll make some sort of plan so that there'll be a social opportunity for people who want to stay over and camp. A couple of us went to hotels last time, didn't we? But there were a few campers as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking possibly a sort of a system, if you can take enough deposits for camping, charge a little, and then let's say you have 100 people that pay to camp there, that could cover the cost, maybe something like that. I don't know.
Looking at your comments, I can categorically say that after being in Silverstone last month with the fantastic light show, we're not going to be going back there in 2026. But not to say that Silverstone wouldn't be on our radar in future years. It's just they are fully booked up for the dates that we wanted.
Yeah, my God, that place is big as well, isn't it? Flipping heck, it took half an hour to get out. But, amazing event, by the way, at Silverstone. The light show that you guys put on and the whole event that they did was really magic. I really liked it. Okay, let's get back to launched the Robotaxi network in Austin and San Francisco Bay Area. There we go. And they also released this amazing video, which I'll just keep playing in the background while we discuss it, if you like. What I'm interested in talking with you guys, if you're up for it, is talking about the Autonomous Vehicles Act in the UK, because I've got a sneaky suspicion that Tesla could actually be running a bunch of robotaxis sooner than we get FSD supervised, because the Autonomous Vehicles Act for commercial use is from 2026 now. Waymo have been given the green light to work around London. There's no reason why Tesla couldn't, but I suppose they're a bit busy with America. just that. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it gets supervised first. But what do you guys think of this?
Well, I can't wait to set up my own private company and have my Tesla on it, and then buy lifts from myself to everywhere I need to go.
Perfect.
Operating as a licensed personal robotaxi company. I've already found the loophole, Will.
Yeah, right.
It is very frustrating because, I mean, the UK over the last 7-8 years has been really at the forefront of doing trials on autonomous driving. I mean, I remember going to Cenex shows pre-COVID where they were demonstrating, the days when Westfield were doing prototype autonomous vehicles. If you know Milton Keynes, they're trundling around delivering shopping for several years very successfully. And it's quite frustrating that Waymo have got the first taxi type service. I suspect once Tesla have got the production sorted out of the Cybercab, it's going to happen pretty sharpish.
Yeah. Any thoughts on this, Graeme?
Yeah, well, I can't wait, because I've said before, haven't I, that my commute is just the most horrible journey in the world, and nothing would please me more than to have either full self-driving or jump in a robo-taxi, because there's just days I wake up and I just dread it. So, to have the car just deal with all that nonsense would just be an absolute blessing, really.
Yeah.
It can't come soon enough, Will.
Yeah, exactly. For the 1.2 million people that died on the roads in 2025. Can you believe that? 1.2 million. Just as a normal statistic, that's that's happened for years and years and years in the past. It's absolutely disgraceful that there's no safer way to travel. But another little story. My mother-in-law arrived again today. She's come up from Cardiff. She arrived by train, and I mentioned in a previous video that she got rid of her car once her husband died last year. So she looked at the cost of running a car, the stress of having a car. She lives in the middle of Cardiff without a parking space, so she was always worried about where to park the thing. She worked out it was costing well over £5,000 a year. And I did say to her a few times ago when she was up, perhaps you could sell the car and use that savings. You can actually get a limo to take you to Aldi once every 2 weeks. I looked into the prices of them, about £200 for an hour. So, so she's gone carless basically, but it's been quite fascinating talking to her about that experience. The crutch in your mind thinking that you need a car all the time, when it turned out she hasn't needed a car for a long time and would far, without the stress of car ownership. And we were chatting before I went live with you guys tonight. And I said, I'm really hoping the day's going to come sooner or later where I can just send my car from here in the Midlands and just take it down. It'll drive itself to you in Cardiff, come and pick you up and bring you back to no cost for her whatsoever. And with all the, with the safety of it and, the freedom to be able to talk to it and tell it if you want to stop at the services, just imagining this sort of future that's coming with time. It's just a matter of when is where my brain always lands. But what a different world that'll be.
Yeah, I suspect the biggest challenge is not going to be the technology or even the government. It's actually going to be people's mindsets. Because it's one of the disappointing stories just before Christmas was Zipcar is leaving London. And this whole concept of car sharing, you don't need to own a car, you just use it by the hour. So Tesla and Waymo and others will have a huge challenge, I think, to change people's perceptions that they don't need to own the vehicle and they can just call on it when they want it.
That's something else I mentioned earlier, just with the I think it's going to take friends and family. When like your friends first got an iPhone and they were like, "Oh yeah, look at this," and I was like, "Yeah, whatever. That might catch on, whatever." And then all of a sudden, everyone's got an iPhone. I think the moment that cybercabs are coming to your door and you can summon one, and then the price is 5 or 10 times cheaper than a standard taxi, and then young people adopt that sort of technology, which is going to be quite seen as futuristic, safer, cleaner, cheaper. And then the elderly and disabled get to use that as well. So you've got the sort of compassionate view of autonomy and how it's going to help people move around again and gain independence when people start seeing their parents using that sort of system. I think it's going to catch on like that, really, just with people using it and then sharing all the benefits. But yes, it might take longer than I think.
The more people that will try it and talk about it, the more people that will adopt it. And it's the same kind of principle as changing to electric cars. When we've seen how over the last 10 years that's really grown and accelerated, and the more people that have been talking about how they just get on with their normal life with an EV, but how significantly cheaper it is to run and maintain. I think this would be the next phase, won't it? That would be people saying, I've given up my car. I just rely on a Cybercab now or a Robotaxi because they're kind of everywhere and I can get one within a few minutes and it does 99.9% of my journeys. And that would be the next phase.
It's a good point. I suppose the way that Uber has completely transformed how people use taxis now in most places around the world. They're quick adopters. As soon as they see how easy a Cybercab is or Robotaxi is, why on earth would you wait for someone to come and pick you up and get you in a nice, clean, swift, stylish, modern Tesla?
Yeah. Anything to add to that, David?
Yeah, I made the same decision as your mother-in-law many years ago and got rid of. I had 3 cars and I wasn't really driving any of them, and it was costing me a fortune a year. And I got rid of everything and just went to taxis. And it was just incredible the cost saving. And I think that Uber, Warren's absolutely right. Uber completely changed the landscape. and Cybercab and Robotaxi will do the same again. But think about how long it will take, because Cybercabs, I mean, they'll make millions and millions probably, and they'll probably stay in America. Unfortunately, I'd like to hope and think that they'd start making them in Berlin and we could get some in Europe. But it really, it will work. It only works well at scale when you can have, you know, many of them in a small location. And this is the same with Uber. The only difference is how long do you wait for a car? And I think that's one of the why, unfortunately, we won't get the small $25,000 car, which I would love to have to drive myself, because we'll get Ys and 3s, and everybody will put their Y and 3 on the network. There'll be so many of them there that you know, people will be able to get one fairly instantly, fairly quickly, and then demand will grow as the supply grows, because people will become more and more aware of it. But that's the only question is how fast can they make them, so that the rollout of demand matches the supply.
Yeah, plus how many people will actually add their car to the Robotaxi network. It's a question I do like to ask Tesla owners. Can you actually imagine doing that?
What would you do, Will?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? If you were to put a price on it and say, would you do it for, you know, £50 a month? You know, probably not. But if someone was to say, would you want £500 a month? That would cover the cost of my car. So why wouldn't I? It's really a matter of whether you need the money. It's a financial issue, isn't it? If you don't need the money, then probably not. Why would you? But if you all of a sudden could earn an extra £1,000 a month by having your car go out and work for you, it's a bit of a no-brainer at that point, surely.
Because you don't have
if you just choose your hours. If your car is parked up at work and you don't need it between, I don't know, 10 and 4, then suddenly it's available for all those use cases that you're just talking about. You know, taking Mrs. Miggins to Lidl.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, when you come to change your car, like I might change it every 3 or 4 years, would I then part exchange it or keep it, buy another car, and then have one permanently running the fleet and one temporarily running the fleet?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I can't help it. My mind's always in the future, but the very idea of just like buying a Cybercab and that being our only form of transport, I can just keep playing with this idea, because I can't see any downsides to this. If you can talk to it like Grok and tell it exactly where you need to go, or park over there, show it on the map. You know, let's say we're not going to be doing weddings anymore because we're stopping this in August. After 20 years of being wedding musicians, that's coming to an end. But that's pretty much the only time I drive my car is to wedding venues. And you know, I remember being told by some lady who was screaming at me that I don't even need to own a car. I should be using public transport. It's a fully charged event, by the way. And I was like, you know, I have to go to different wedding venues all the time. It doesn't make sense at all for me to not have a car, because I need to take a lot of equipment with me. I need to, you know, unload and load at a certain place. But I was thinking, okay, a Cybercab could theoretically do this in the future. If, you know, let's say we owned it, we could just fill it up with our equipment, tell it which venue we're going to, we sit there, and then we can direct it once we get to the wedding venue to where to park, where to unload, and then we can say, go and park yourself. It would do that. You know, I don't know, it's quite a challenge to think about your own autonomous pod that you can communicate with like a companion, like one of the, you know, Grok characters or whatever. But I see this.
Before you know it, Optimus then comes out and does your singing for you.
Yeah, so totally jobless. Have you heard AI music, by the way? This keeps freaking me out because I keep listening to it going, this is damn good, really good. Yeah, that's Shifty Brent. That's phenomenal. And I assumed that AI wouldn't be able to match any sort of musical talent, but flipping heck, it's good.
I'll go back to the Robotaxi. It will be interesting to see how many do actually get produced. Because it does feel like one of those moments that it's Tesla, you know, betting the farm on Cybercab being so popular that it will make itself, will sell millions. Because if they are really setting up a production line as they're suggesting in last year's Q4 results, they're going to have to sell a hell of a lot of them to make it worthwhile.
Well, I think there's multiple points to make here, isn't there? Tesla can keep them and operate them as their own fleet. Tesla can sell them to other companies who are willing to do the same, and then Tesla can also sell them to for consumer use, so we can all have one as well, and then that becomes the new vehicle of the future for people to buy, and they could literally send them anywhere, couldn't they? Tesla could be producing them here and send them to London one day.
Financially, the best thing for Tesla to do is to not sell them, because they should be able to generate enough money by putting them in the fleet. So that would be the most prudent thing financially, and they certainly don't need the cash to sell them to customers, unfortunately, because I think we would all love to have one. And that's why I think that it works well with the 3s and Ys that everybody's got, and Cybertrucks, of course, when we get those, and presumably S's and X's ultimately. But people will put their own private fleet on the private car on the app when they're not using it for personal use, and then gradually the zeitgeist will shift, the people's mental space will shift, and I think that eventually we'll end up not owning cars, but there have to be a point where there's so many of them, so many Cybercabs produced, and that'll take a long time. But yes, I do see a future, apart from these special use cases where you can't fit everything in a Robovan even, then
nicely said.
It's we have to see how it all plays out. But different people will have different appetites for how much they will allow their car to be sent in the fleet, right? Because you have to wash it yourself. You don't have a robotic vacuum in your home so that it can just operate autonomously. It's something you'll have to manage as a mini fleet owner, things like that. So it'll take a long time, but yeah, I can't wait to see it roll out. It will definitely happen.
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to when the Cybercab production line reaches its initial 10-second per unit run rate, and then with the hopes in the future that it could reach 5 seconds to produce every car. That would be in the realms of consumer appliance, what are they called, like phones, consumer appliances and things like that. That sort of speed. So at that point, it doesn't become like a traditional car production line at all, because you're usually looking at least sort of 60 seconds, aren't you, for a car to be produced. So run rates like that, and then just replication of the factory around the world at some point. I mean, it could get to the point where we are being flooded with Cybercabs, just like China can flood us with steel, and just like there you go.
But there are quite a lot of old Toyota Priuses that need replacing in the near future. So.
Yes, quite well. Yeah.
Somebody in the comments said that China and Berlin production will be in full effect within a year. So whether that's something I've missed or that's insider knowledge, I don't know.
I'd be surprised with Berlin, but I would not be surprised that China would be ramping them out.
I wouldn't be surprised if Berlin just stops progressing at all at the current rate of if metal regulation. Anyway, let's not go down that road.
Yes, they've got some other bigger issues to deal with.
Trigger yourself.
Yeah, I know. I keep doing it to myself, don't I? Right, where are we with this lot? Right, of course, I'll whiz through them. Tesla completed the world's first fully autonomous delivery earlier in the year, didn't it? That was a fantastic moment to see. The more affordable for everyone Model 3 and Model Y standard are out in most markets now. We've just got the Model Y standard in the UK available to us, which I'm very excited to be test driving next week. I've got early access to make a video with one, so I cannot wait to see what that's like. It's quite weird now when you're considering what we have available in the UK, because my model that's outside is the rear-wheel drive previous standard version. Now that one's been deleted, which I would have said is the sort of best value all-round sort of one. That's gone now. So all you have is the long-range versions, and now you'll have the standard versions. That's a £7,000 price gap between the standard and the long range. So I'm quite eager to see how well these sell.
I think they'll do well. I didn't get a drive one, but I did have a chance to see one up close in LA last month. And I took the view that if you didn't know Tesla and actually the price point tempted you to go and visit a Tesla dealer for the first time, you would think it's a fantastic deal, because the things that are deleted or changed, most normal car buyers would not notice or would not care about.
Yeah.
The fact it has got less plastic under the bonnet. Well, how many cars have full plastic undersized to the bonnets? Very few. The center console design reminded me actually the early Model S's. It brought back that sort of openness that the original Model S had.
I like that. It's nice.
The seats look nice. In fact, it reminded me of my old Model S with the cloth seat inserts. Actually look quite contemporary, a bit Polestar-y, rather than just the fake pleather all over. So I think the showroom appeal actually will be quite good, as long as they don't leave the bonnet open too long.
Yeah.
The bits that they've left out make it a lot easier to maintain. So you spend less time taking plastic out. That doesn't actually do anything. It just looks tidy. But if you have high mileage robotaxis that you need to service every so often, then why waste 10 minutes taking plastic out? You get straight in there and fix whatever you need to fix.
Yeah. We've, of course, not got the Model 3 standard just yet. That's not in the configurator for the UK, but I'd assume that would come with time too. Although, I don't know.
Probably because that's not available in China yet. So I suspect that's probably a Chinese production issue.
Right. We talked about the production.
Oh, actually, before you leave Austin, actually, one of the other things I forgot to mention is for our paid supporters at Tesla Owners UK, we are organising the first official visit to the Austin Gigafactory. So that is going to be really exciting. So we're hoping that will be this spring. We're just waiting for confirmation from the US. But hopefully we'll have a few members come along and get a try out the taxis, see the production line. And
I have a question. Is that included in the yearly membership fee for a Tesla Owners Club?
So the access will only be available to those that have our paid supporters, because we are limited to only 20 members. It's a much more exclusive event. But if it all goes well, then we'll obviously twist the US's arm for a second opportunity. But we're talking to the Boring Company as well, see if we can maybe pop along, because it's only half an hour drive to Boring Company from Austin. And you never know, if you're there for a few days, you could always drive 3-4 hours down to Starbase and go and see some SpaceX as well. So it could be a fantastic few days in Texas.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah. I'm hoping to get to the X takeover in California this year. That's on July 25th, I think. But then of course you've got to do everything, haven't you? I want to pop down to Starbase.
Well, the takeover Europe is on the 5th, 6th of June. So that's in Austria.
Yeah.
So we've been invited to attend that as well as a club. So I'm sure there'll be a good turnout for the European members.
Well, why not? I'll mention that right now. There it is. Look, it's all ready. 5th and 6th of June. I've been trying to figure out today what to do to drive there. I think I'm going to drive. You can do it in a couple of days. If that guy can go from east to west America in 2 days, then I can drive to Austria. It's not too bad.
Well, I'm lucky enough I've got an enhanced autopilot, but it makes these long trips around Europe so easy that if you had FSD, it's just going to be a doddle.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Fingers crossed. We'll have FSD supervised by then. What do you think? Right, on the unveiling of the Mega Block. This doesn't seem that exciting unless you're into engineering and batteries, but it's a pre-engineered plug-and-play unit bundling 4 Megapack 3 batteries with transformer and switchgear into one 20 megawatt-hour package. These enable 23% faster installation and up to 40% lower construction costs, and allows for deployment of 1 gigawatt hour. That's enough to power 400,000 homes in just 20 business days. That's how quickly it can be deployed. It achieves higher site density, 248 megawatt hours per acre, and 91% efficiency, accelerating the shift to renewables amid surging AI data center power demand. Again, it's just a fascinating product that Tesla have come up with. It probably doesn't get enough airtime, does it?
And the whole concept of grid reinforcement it's one of those things that just happens in the background. The problem we've got in the UK is that the developers that are promoting grid reinforcement, they keep on going for really contentious greenfield sites in the middle of nowhere, often in national landscapes or rural landscapes. If they chose some more industrial type locations, these things could be linked to the grid in days rather than going through a complicated planning system for 18 months, 24 months, then being rejected, going to the planning inspector. And my big plea is the developers just choose better sites. They could be implemented much quicker.
The Supercharger network grew by 18% over the world. And we in the UK had our 2000th Supercharger installed, didn't we, in Manchester?
Because Tesla are doing such a better job than any other company at making high quality, reliable, cheap supercharging locations, then they'll just keep, they're just completely outdoing all the competition. So often now when you go to a supercharger, It's not to Tesla that's there. It's some other car brand who are using the Supercharger network, albeit at a higher cost. But I think it seems like a lot of the other companies have given up for expanding their network, and because Tesla are doing it so much cheaper. I mean, if you've got an option at the same site to pay 89 pence per kilowatt or 32 pence per kilowatt, the electricity is not a different flavor. It's still the same. It's still the same amount.
It's not 99 octane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's bizarre that people would just make that choice. Why would you spend double for the same thing?
I mean, certainly my prediction for 2026 is we're going to see a big consolidation of all the different networks, because there's so many small players out there that are getting to the end of their investment run, and they'll be looking to sell up or divest. That the Supercharger network is going to be one of the few that landowners will want to partner with, because they're guaranteed there's a huge fleet of cars that want to use them. And as David says, the fleet's only getting bigger. BP have pretty much pulled out of consumer charging now. Sadly, they've just left their lovely building in Milton Keynes, which they opened when they were on the big push about 5 years ago on public charging.
Oh.
And I'm sure we're going to see a few more of the networks moving out of the business.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, what a shame. And I keep saying it, but where's everybody else's Supercharger network? I mean, it's crazy to me. Yeah, well, I mean, actual car companies. Where's Mercedes? Yeah. Where's BMW? Where's Volkswagen's network of chargers?
Well, they all thought they could just buy a share of Ionity, and that would be the way of delivering it. But Ionity has been such a slow burner that they've lost the opportunity, I think.
Shell,
I think Mercedes, BMW, a few others are shareholders in that.
I think Mercedes initially announced that they were going to launch their own charging network, and then they withdrew that. So they're just probably allied to certain networks now with their card. But yeah, there's no other car manufacturer that's got their own proprietary charging network.
Rivian. Stellantis haven't even sponsored any. They're completely reliant on the public network. And then their chief exec, who's no longer, was whinging that governments weren't doing enough.
When your competitor produces something which is so far a paradigm shift above what you can achieve, even at a loss, they can't even do it at a loss. It's not, as Tesla's making money on something, and just like
they run them at 10% profit margins, I believe, the Superchargers.
But when you're everywhere globally, what have we got in the world now? We've got something like 9,000 stations, and the average number of stalls is over 10, I think, now per station. When you take over everyone else, that's it. They've just given up. It's so obvious that Tesla's won that battle. But they've taken on this responsibility. They're producing the most efficient, the most effective charger. It all goes on the back of the wagon. You drop it off, you plug it in, and it works. So that's it. Nobody else can compete, and they have taken on the responsibility for the world's charging network.
And
haven't they now persuaded Hyundai Kia to use the American socket over in Asia now? So, we're obviously just CCS in Europe, but some of the stuff they've been doing in other markets. I mean, Tesla have been working really hard to make Supercharger the de facto standard.
Yeah. Well, they seem to be just replacing the world's petrol stations and doing a fine job of it. I mean, still watching Zach and Jess's Now You Know channel, every time they do the Supercharger reviews at the end and they get to the new Superchargers, the list just keeps going and going. And sometimes they just keep rattling them off. Every week, there's dozens and dozens of new ones all the time, and I wish I could remember the actual number they're up to now, but it's ridiculous. But they're just quietly doing this in the background with no fanfare. They just keep rolling this out, the global Supercharger network, as if it's just normal.
Megawatts, right? 1.2 megawatt chargers for the Semi.
Yeah, well, let's get to the Semi in a second. In fact, let's roll all the way there because, there's 1 million Powerwalls that have been installed. The millionth Powerwall, was installed last year as well. The Cybertruck, the first EV truck to get IIHS, which is the Institutes for Highway Safety Top Pick Plus, and NHTSA 5-star safety rating. So who knew that Tesla were going to make one of the safest trucks ever? In fact, the safest electric vehicle. The most American cars made her sexy. Q3 was the biggest in history. Then we're on to the Model YL, which we still haven't got any news about for the UK yet, but I'm certainly eager to think this will come to us with time.
I got to experience it last month in Guangzhou, and
lovely.
It really is a good family car, particularly as we're not going to see a right-hand drive Model X anytime soon. All European markets, there is an appetite for large family cars with more than 5 seats, and the implementation of this is really quite effective. So why Tesla is making it China only at the moment it's a very strange commercial move, but they may be concerned about eating into the Model X sales in other markets. But I think it would do very well.
Yeah, was it particularly different on the inside then? Because the seats, and
there's some subtle differences. Yeah, I mean the front. The only major difference is that they've moved up to the 16-inch screen, which is now in the Model Y Performance. So we've already seen that coming out of Berlin, which is interesting. The seats are slightly different. They've got an interesting cloth back to them, which actually makes the interior feel a bit softer, though perhaps not as easy to clean in a family car. But the back seats, I hadn't appreciated. It's not like an MPV of the old style where the middle seats folded down. You actually have to crawl through the middle of the middle seats. But because they're new captain's chairs, it is even from my height, so I'm 5'11", it was quite easy to get into the back and plenty of space. So if you
nice.
It's a very good flexible car, and then the boot's huge because you've got the extra 200 mil in the long wheelbase. So if you fold the seats down, you've basically got a van.
Yeah, fantastic car. Let's hope we get that soon. Of course, we've got the Model Y Performance last year, the Model S and X refresh, and then we are on to the Semi. Sawyer mentioned this the other day. So Tesla's redesigned Semi has now been spotted for the first time. Does look a bit different, doesn't it? It's got a new sort of light bar at the front. Yeah, it does look
the front.
Yeah. It's more efficient, increased payload capabilities, 1.7 kilowatt hours per mile. It's a 15% improvement from the old Semi. That's incredible.
That's
designed for autonomy,
e-tron, isn't it?
I was thinking it's 5, I think, the e-tron. Yeah, not far off. That's what I thought that.
That's insane. Designed for autonomy, of course, another game changer that keeps being forgotten. You'd be able to just, have a few of these leaving in convoy, driving themselves. 500-mile range. Don't tell Bill Gates, because that's not possible. 1.2 megawatt charging. So we saw a clip of this the other day where they were testing it, and quickly got to 1.2 thousand kilowatts at peak charging speed. 800 kilowatt drive power. The side windows don't go back so far. What's that? Silver anti-slip diamond traction strips on side steps. That's very specific, isn't it? And lots more under the skin improvements. But the most important thing is volume production starts in the first half of 2026 with customer deliveries around that time. And thanks to Zengler as well for these images down here. It's another sleeping giant of Tesla, isn't it? The Semi. This is going to absolutely change the landscape and emissions from in the US, because I do believe that sort of 30 or 40% of the US emissions comes from the trucking industry. So chipping away at that with electric trucks that can actually travel enormous distances and charge very quickly, it's a game changer, isn't it?
But I think you're right. This has been one of those projects that's been going on for quite a long time, and Tesla's been quite clever that they've been developing the prototypes in users' hands. They've appreciated that the trucking industry is very specific in their requirements and demands and their perceptions of what they need, that they've evolved this with them. So I think this sort of phase 2 of the Semi is going to be quite spectacular. But of course, they're having to get this out pretty sharpish because there's plenty of Chinese competition coming in the HGV world. So if this has got the efficiency and the range because of Tesla's know-how in some of those areas, then it could be a world beater. But they need to get out there to market pretty sharpish or they're going to miss the gun.
And it can get into right-hand drive markets because it's got a central steering wheel.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Yeah. I mean, Mercedes were demonstrating their electric 35, 40 tonner just before Christmas, I think. So it's going to be a competitive market out there. But if they can really prove the efficiency and the turnaround speed and tick all those boxes that logistics companies are after, then it could be a no-brainer.
It's
Yeah.
so smart of them, isn't it, to have because there's only ever one driver in the middle, and when you're driving across international boundaries and changing handedness of drive, it's so much simpler to just change nothing and go from right-hand drive to left-hand drive with zero changes, because you're sat in the middle and there's a screen either side and everything's the same. So it's again another of their amazing decisions to improve efficiency and streamline everything.
Yeah, but I didn't know whether to mention this bit or not, but I stumbled across an excellent video earlier, connecting the dots, where they're talking about the AI systems in place. And I did a little post. I just wanted to share it because it might be of interest. But Tesla One is Tesla's internal AI-powered nervous system that integrates real-time data from its factories, robots, supply chain, and millions of vehicles. It enables ultra-fast optimizations, predictive manufacturing, digital twins of production lines, and automated design improvements, giving Tesla a massive edge in efficiency and innovation over competitors. It's the company's secret weapon for alien-level engineering breakthroughs. I love that. Compounding data advantages will lead to a tsunami of AI-driven engineering for Tesla. Now, I wrote this after watching the Connecting the Dots video, where he's talking about Tesla One, which is, that's Tesla's internal AI-powered sort of, as I wrote, nervous system that sort of controls everything. I don't really talk about the AI aspect of Tesla and that, because quite frankly, I don't understand it to the level I'm comfortable talking about it. They're a company that are so far ahead of all the other competitors. The fact that they can track all their models that are being produced, and they've got this twin digital ID version of each vehicle that they build. So they can track every single intricate piece of tech within it, so they can sort of follow the maintenance procedures. They can see when something's going to fail before it even fails. Just I'd highly recommend checking out Connecting the Dots video on this. It's a long one, but absolutely fascinating. At a little above my pay grade of understanding. But it's the engineers, isn't it, and the AI developers and everyone at Tesla that they're just in another world of brain power for me.
Warren and I have seen this in action, haven't we, Warren, in the Giga Berlin factory, to see as the cars roll past, you can see all the computer systems working on the screens in the background. But I didn't realize that they'd integrated AI. I wonder if they've borrowed some Grok crossover there, because if you can streamline everything to maximize all the dials and knobs, for production efficiency, and why not? Then it makes sense. I didn't realize that they integrated AI into the Tesla One. Farzad's spoken a lot about it, hasn't he? About how this system is used for a digital copy.
Because when he said he used to work at Tesla, didn't he? And there used to be screens everywhere, just tell you what you need to know on the screens and stuff. But they were putting systems like this into place in the early days of the Model S. So on the Connecting the Dots video, they have interviews with different people who explained it far better than I can, who worked at Tesla. The implementation of AI into Tesla's nervous system, the very core of their company, that's the thing that's sort of running the company and the company mission, if you like. It's not middle managers and people making decisions. It's sort of core engineering at its heart that's also now being AI led. That's something that no other company's got, and that's a bonkers video to watch. I would highly recommend it. But I'll stop blabbering on about that. Let's round up your thoughts then of just 2025, what you've seen from the video we've shared today, and what you're looking forward to in 2026. What do you see coming next, Warren?
I mean, Tesla is in a difficult position because the perception is it's losing its leap, or it's the advancement of innovation. And I think some of the conversations in AI are some of those things behind the scenes which you just don't see. So I think the Roadster really does need to come out to remind people of the innovation that is in Tesla, and they can make it happen. And I think the Robotaxi rollout will be a clear demonstration of that as well. But also for the near future, to make sure that Tesla maintains its profitability and its relevance to drivers of today. It can't forget people who enjoy driving. And I think a lot of people who were early adopters of Tesla, from the original Roadster and the Model S, and I'd count myself in this, is that we actually enjoy driving. but we also are fantastic fans and appreciate the technology that makes driving even better. And that's a fine balance that Tesla has to find its way. And I think it kind of undersells that difficult dichotomy with the performance models, the Model Y and Model 3 performance. Extraordinary technology, extraordinary opportunities for self-driving, but they're also actually damn good driver's cars. And I feel that Tesla's missing a trick in the short term to transition more people from petrol to electric with those really enjoyable cars. But yeah, I think given 2025 was a big political year for Tesla, it had a lot of challenges. It's done amazingly well. I can only imagine with some of those distractions fading away that 2026 is going to be a fantastic year for them.
Yeah. Graeme, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, 2025 seems to me the final laying of the foundations for Tesla's future. So, we've seen the FSD kind of roll out and really accelerate quickly with how good it's got in a very short amount of time in that kind of last 6 months of the year, and then seeing the Robotaxis kind of going out. So I feel the foundations were laid last year. The hard work was really done. Production starts this year. That includes for Optimus as well. So I think it must have been a hell of a busy year for Tesla. Really, really busy. It's probably not going to be any less busy this year, but I think this year is going to hold quite a lot of excitement for the products that are going to launch. I think there's anticipation that the Roadster is going to launch, possibly even the YL to the rest of the world. It'd be fantastic to see Cybercab as well, doing some unsupervised driving and taking real fares. That's going to be incredible. So, there's a lot of excitement about 2026, I think. And as Warren said, 2025 did start off quite bumpy with a lot of political issues, and it's kind of ended the year strong, which is really good, really, really good. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, Tesla's still got the brightest brains in the world, the top engineering talent, right, in the world working for them, and world-changing products that Tesla are producing do not come at a quick cadence. There's a huge amount of work involved behind everything, from thousands and thousands of people, thousands of brilliant people, from the AI to the actual physical products and the battery pack and the charging infrastructure and the whole thing, everything that Tesla does. And we've seen it unfurl gradually over the last decade and more. It's interesting for me to see that a lot of these things were announced after Elon had his new wage package confirmed. I felt like we had a sort of crescendo of excitement and optimism at the end of the year. But I'm sure the whole company is behind him and the mission. It's not about sustainable. It's about sustainable abundance now, abundance for all. It's not just about
technically amazing abundance, isn't it now?
Yeah, maybe that's right. Yeah,
even
updated. Yeah. But I think they'll still, the roots are ones of ecological, consideration, right? So with all this oil and gas that we're saving all over the world, all these petrochemical states that we're not giving our money to anymore, and we're just going to keep taking over. So next year will just be a further acceleration along the timeline. We're going to get more new toys. We're going to continue to be amazed by how incredible the products are from this company full of brilliant minds. Yeah, I can't wait for the rest of this year to unfold.
Yeah, me too. And we're going to, that shouldn't be forgotten, should it? The sustainable energy aspect of this, whether anyone's a fan of net zero or not, the Tesla plan remains the same. So the reason that electric everything makes so much sense is because you can recycle everything endlessly. You can recycle those batteries. So just the next phase of Tesla and the electric revolution is just, you don't need to mine for those materials anymore. Once there are enough materials, you could just reuse them indefinitely. That's pretty pretty amazing stuff, isn't it? It's profound what they're aiming for, what they can do. the 97% recovery of all battery materials in a Tesla can be reused again and again and again, where you just can't do that when you've got things running from the oil industry, where you just burn things only once. My point is Tesla are still this sustainable energy company at heart. Obviously, everything they build is for that, to improve the air that we're all breathing. And I don't think that should be dismissed. Thanks, guys. It's been wonderful talking to you all. And I'm just going to say one more thing before I go. Thank you to all my amazing Patreons, because these guys are keeping me in business 3 years into being a YouTuber. And half of my revenue comes from these Patreon supporters. So thank you very much, dearly, all my Patreons. If you want to join them too, you can at patreon.com/Tesla Jigsaw. And I do loads of extra bonus content and loads of interviews and videos that I can't put on YouTube because of copyright issues. I have to put them on there now. I'm learning. So please don't head on over to there if you're a fan of what I do and what I'm trying to do. I don't really know what I am trying to do. Just talk to loads of people in the Tesla community, really. Just get excited about what's coming and what's happening, the reality of Tesla and all that. So thank you very much, gents. I'll stop rambling. Thanks for being here. Happy New Year to you all. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Will.
All right. Bye, guys.
Cheers. Bye.